Azlan Abdul Aziz. I will be your course instructor for this course. This course is DFP40233, which is Visual Basic Programming. So you can reach me either through email azlan@pmu.edu.my, or you can text me at 0192856494. So I do hope that you can get in touch with me from time to time. So for this course, it has a credit value of 3. You'll be seeing 5 hours per week. We have 14 weeks, so 14 times 5, 60 hours. Okay, so I'm going to briefly read the course outline for you. So this course outline will be available for you in our Telegram group. So for this course, you will be using Visual Studio. Either you're going to use the 2017 or you use the 2015. Either is good, and I do hope that you have fairly a good PC in order to create those applications. So we need something that has a RAM of minimum of 8 GB. Probably if you have a powerful processor, it will help you a lot. Okay, and I do hope that you have sufficient hard disk space in order to store Visual Studio and also SQL Server. Okay, so on with the course outline. So for the vision, so PMU strive to be menjadi institusi TVET yang unggul. So this is the mission for our Polytechnic, menyediakan akses kepada program TVET yang berkualiti dan diiktiraf, hasilkan graduan holistik berciri keusahawanan dan seimbang, memanfaatkan perkongsian pintar dengan pihak berkepentingan. So the next thing is program aims or PI. So this program believes every individual has potential for foster adaptable and responsible information ICT assistant with new technological advancement in supporting the National Digital Initiative Transformation Agenda. And Sarawak also has its own digital initiative agenda, and you can Google it to see what is the premier hope for every Sarawakian. So for this course, we have several objectives. We have several CLO, PLO, and PEO. So what is PEO? PEO is something that after you completed this diploma program, what is to expect from you? So we have 3 P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PEO that were expected you once you have graduated from Polytechnic Muka. So PEO 1, you can apply basic knowledge, understanding, and operational principles of information. PEO 2, you can apply a specific level of practical skills, essential tools, methods, and procedures to perform required routine or non-routine. PEO 3, alternately adopt the roles of leader and team member and communicate effectively in assisting and providing solution for ICT. PEO 4, use variety of digital applications to seek, process, and interpret routine and complex data. And last, PEO 5, enterprisingly acquire new knowledge and skills for career advancement and assist to manage resources and information ethically. Next, we have this course, learning outcome. So this is expected upon completion of this course. You as a student should be able to first construct the Visual Basic program by using .NET frameworks in developing Windows application, integrate effective interpersonal and communication with peers in developing Windows application. Third, demonstrate effective leadership with peers in developing Visual Basic program. So these 3 are expected of you, and I don't see any difficulties in doing this because all the skills required are honed through several courses you have taken prior before. And you have taken OOP, you have taken JavaScript before, you have taken fundamentals of programming. So I don't see why you cannot do all of this. It should be a breeze. This course should be a breeze for you. Okay, so program learning outcome. So this one, maybe we will see this in 3 and 5 years after you have graduated. Okay. It is expected after several years of you graduating, you can display ICT skill in performing diagnostic and documenting processes in ICT related field. Number 4, you can demonstrate effective communication both orally and writing. And 5, demonstrate social skills and responsibility by taking alternate role as a leader or member of a diverse team. So for this course, there will be no final, but instead we will have a final examination. So there will be no, we have final assessment instead of final examination. And we have several laboratory tasks. We have 5 laboratory tasks. We have project presentation. We have 2 of them, and we have project. Okay. So in order for you to take the final assessment, you are required to score at least 40% in your continuous assessment. So all these 3 is for your continuous assessment. And if you manage to get more than 40, then I'll permit you to take the final assessment. So your final assessment, you must score more than 20%. Okay, next, I'll describe briefly the topics that we will cover throughout this course. First one is Introduction to Visual Basic.NET. This is fairly simple. You will see how VB.NET is applied, the frameworks, and how they integrate all together. Okay. Here we have non-face-to-face 3 hours. So what you should do is, in this non-face-to-face interaction, is that you should do your own studies. You should play around with the IDE. I will show you how to deploy the IDE. You can either download the latest one, 2022, from the internet, or you can use mine, which is 2017, and also we have 2015, depending on your computer. And throughout these 2 weeks, we will have one assessment, which is lab test 1. Next, we will have program and GUI design. And I'll teach you how to design a GUI application. GUI stands graphical user interface, where you use the drag and drop capabilities of Visual Studio to create Visual Studio application. So you will have something like a simple Windows application that you can deploy. You can create an installer to be deployed to others' computer. Okay. Next, for week 5 and week 9 is program design and coding. And then we have incorporating database with ADO.NET. It will be covered from week 9 to week 12. Here I will be using SQL Server 2012. And if you have a good PC, you can install the latest version. And if you're bold enough, you can try the Microsoft Azure. And last topic will be effective and secure coding. Here we'll have several tests or several assessments. And for reference, we have 2 main reference, all in 2019, published in 2019, and they are available in our library. Additionally, you can search for Beginning ASP.NET 1.0 and also Microsoft Visual Basic 2017. This one you can also look it up in our library. So that is for our course outline. Right, so this is the Visual Studio IDE, and we will either use this or Visual Studio Professional 2017 throughout our course. And you can get this from the UTM, or you can ask me to store it for you later on. Okay, and you will also install SQL Server for the sake of keeping our data in our database. So let us take a look of what we can do with Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is a professional IDE which you can use to develop GUI application fairly easy. Okay, so we have several docking panels here which can help you to develop application rather quickly. So let's try our first application. You can start by clicking New Project. Sure, you are selecting the right language. We're using Visual Basic throughout this course. Select Windows Form application. Do not select others because they are not applicable for our course. We have Windows application, which we will put Hello World. So now we have our first form. So for our form, you can see the properties in this panel, and we can put several items inside, which you can get the items from the toolbox. Just click and drop them. So fairly simple. You can develop VB application fairly easily using Visual Studio. You can do many things inside this IDE. You can rename this by clicking on its properties. You can change the icon. You can change the name. You can change the text. So when I hit the enter key, so you can see here we have main text instead. Let's say I add up another add new Windows form. The second form. So for this second form, if I want to put it first, to load it first, what I should do, what you can do is go to the properties, and on the select startup form, you hit and click second form. So this way you can load up the second form instead of the first form. Hit on the start, and the build is successful. You'll see the second form instead of the first form. You can go from one form to another. You're primarily using button. Example. See this button. If I wish to go to the second form, the name is also second form. So you here. Click on second form, name, and then show. Apply here. So when I click this button, show second form, and when hit this button, show first form. Okay. VB fundamentals, what can I build with? With this code from the sheet, may seem difficult at first, but it's difficult. Everything is very difficult if you don't have any skills. Don't have the view, if you don't have the skill set, everything is difficult. But then you must press on, you must preserve. So for this course, we are going to see how we can use Visual Studio to create application. I'll show you how to do programming in Visual Basic.NET. What is the concept of OOP in Visual Basic? I assume that you are a programmer in some sort of languages, have little or no experience with VB, but you have a determination and you want to become proficient in Visual Basic, and you want to learn about .NET, and you want to see how to write .NET applications in Visual Basic. Okay. So we will see how you can build Visual Basic application. I'll give you some overviews, some samples. You'll be using variables, operators, and constant. We will dabble with data types, scoping constants, and we'll apply math, relational, and comparison operators. We will apply object-oriented programming in Visual Basic, classes, properties, and methods. Okay. We will apply inheritance overrides constructors, just like you have done in your OOP classes. Okay, so what is .NET? So .NET is a free open source cross-platform development environment. It's a common runtime with extensive class libraries. You can actually develop .NET application using multiple languages. There's the C#, F#, and many more. But for the sake of this course, we will only focus on Visual Basic. Okay? Not only you can build GUI application for Windows, you can also build web, mobile, desktop games, IoT, etc. So this is the .NET framework. As you can see, C#, VB, F#, all can produce, all utilize the .NET framework to create applications. And you can create WinForms, UWP, Windows Pages, and WPF, Web Forms, MVC, Web API, and Windows Services. And you can double the following: entity framework, link, file, threading, collection, security, and regular expression at your own time, because we will not explore those. That is beyond our scope. Okay, so VB.NET is fully integrated into Visual Studio, and we can build .NET application very easily. It is type-safe object-oriented language. We can build any type of modern application, and it has full access to security and language interoperability in .NET. We can use this language to build Windows Form, Web Form, MVC, and WPF. You can use Web API application. You can use to build Azure application, Windows services, reusable class libraries, Windows 10 applications. Okay. So event-driven programming in Visual Basic.NET. Everything in Visual Basic.NET application, desktop application, is has an event-driven mechanism behind it. So GUI what we will in the future classes requires the use of event-driven programming. It has an event listener that detects an event trigger and responds by running a method called an event handler. Quite similar to what you have seen, you have learned in your OOP classes. An event occurs whenever an event listener detects an event trigger and responds by running a method called an event handler. Modern operating systems and programming languages contain facilities to let programmers set up event listeners. I think you have seen this in your OOP classes and also in your web design, where you program JavaScript to detect any event by the user. Event trigger can be almost any activity or condition selected by the programmer, such as mouse movement, someone pressing the enter key, or a bank account balance changing. An event handler is a method that is activated when the event trigger occurs. Almost any method can serve as an event handler, such as those that play sounds, initiate data communications, or perform calculations. So this is the example of event-driven. So you can see here, the private sub button close underscore click. So the event is underscore click. The next one, button close underscore mouse up. When we have a mouse over the button close, this one will be performed. Okay. Button message underscore click happens when you click the button message. Button message underscore mouse move when you move the mouse over the button message. And then for the text box, txt enter text change. When you change the text inside, it will pop up this. If you click inside the txt enter text message box, rock on perform. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson said, I don't understand how people live without creating. So if you don't create something, if you don't create anything in your life, what is the purpose of your life? So think about it. Think what Samuel L. Jackson said. Okay. So find the purpose of your life. So the Visual Studio IDE. So this one is based on Visual Studio 2010. I think it is quite similar to all Visual Studio versions. Even up till 2022, the look and feel are similar with the panels line up just exactly like this, where you can create project. You can run your code, you can launch, live share, send feedback. You can manage files, project, and solutions. Okay. So please try this. Please install this so that you can get the look and feel and try to launch your first application. Okay. So try to do this on your own so that you can develop a more high-end application in the future. So let's explore this. Okay, so that's it for the introduction of visualbasic.net. Hopefully you have the time to explore more of the IDE on your own free time. Thanks.